What if God himself visited your home and spoke a promise that seemed impossible? Genesis 18 is one of the most intimate moments in Scripture where the Lord appears to Abraham, reveal is the miraculous birth of Isaac, and allows Abraham to intercede for an entire city. The visitors arrive. Abraham sat at the entrance of his tent in the heat of the day. Suddenly, he looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. Without hesitation, he ran to greet them and bowed low to the ground. "Lord," he said, "if I have found favor in your sight, do not pass your servant by." Abraham offered them water to wash their feet and invited them to rest under the tree while he prepared a meal. He hurried into the tent and told Sarah, "Quickly make bread with the finest flour." Then he ran to choose a tender calf, gave it to a servant to prepare, and set before them curds, milk, and the roasted meat. He stood nearby under the tree as they ate, waiting attentively like a faithful host. The promise of a son. Then one of the visitors asked, "Where is your wife Sarah?" "She is there, in the tent," Abraham replied. The Lord said, "I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah your wife will have a son." Sarah was listening at the tent door, and when she heard this, she laughed quietly to herself. "After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure?" Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh and say, 'Will I really have a child, now that I am old?' Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time I will return, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah, afraid, denied it. "I did not laugh," she said. But the Lord replied, "Yes, you did laugh." The promise had been spoken, and it would not fail. The Lord reveals his plan. When the men had finished their meal, they rose to leave, and Abraham walked with them to see them off. Then the Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do?" He revealed that the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah was great, and their sin was very grievous. The Lord declared he was going down to see if the outcry was true, and if the city's wickedness was as great as reported. Abraham intercedes for Sodom. As the 2 other men went toward Sodom, Abraham remained standing before the Lord. He stepped closer and asked with reverence, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you spare it for their sake?" The Lord answered, "If I find 50 righteous people in Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake." Emboldened, Abraham continued, "What if there are 45, 40, 30, 20? Each time the Lord patiently responded, "I will not destroy it for the sake of that number." Finally, Abraham said, "Let me speak once more. What if only 10 can be found?" The Lord answered, "For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it." When he had finished speaking, the Lord departed, and Abraham returned to his tent. Reflection. Genesis 18 reveals a God who visits his people, makes promises that defy human limits, and listens when his people intercede. Abraham's boldness in prayer reminds us that God invites us into partnership with him to stand in the gap for others. But what will happen when the angels arrive in Sodom and see its wickedness firsthand? Genesis 19 brings us face to face with the judgment of God and the rescue of Lot.